Okay, I think it is live now. Let me just read this note. Huh? This podcast is sponsored by Bix Recovery Supplement. After a long bicycle ride, that's usually not the end of my day. I'm still a husband, a dad, and I have work to do. So, recovery is super important to me. So, after a long bicycle ride, I take Bix Recovery Supplement as part of my recovery routine. It was recommended to me by my friend Terrence Go, who's an ultra endurance trail runner, and he takes Bix pretty much every time he exercises as well as a recovery drink. So order yours at instagram.com/focusrecoveryph. Thank you, Bix Recovery Supplement via Focus Recovery PH for sponsoring the podcast. And over the years, 032 Conversations has had over 100 interviews. So I've been blessed to talk to so many interesting people. You can check out the interviews in the archives of 032.com. Welcome to the live stream of 032 Conversations. In today's episode, we have Snoogie Reynes-Mata. She is one of the most sought after wedding and events planners in Cebu, Philippines. Back when we were planning our wedding, many of our friends spoke very highly of her. And of course, she became our wedding organizer. Hi, Snoogs. How are you?
Hi, Carl. It's good to see you, even sa screen lang. And thank you,
So,
for inviting me.
oh yeah, no problem. I've been wanting to kanang in for the podcast. I have a list of people who I want to talk to, and you've been in that list for a while, no?
Mm.
So I'm happy to. I'm very interested in talking, especially now, no? Okay, now I'm sure there's like kanang so many changes in the kanang events and wedding industry, no? Uh, but we were talking offline a little bit about katong schooling ba? Unya,
Yeah,
you asked me if my kids will still be doing like the homeschool uh, after everything comes back to normal. Yeah, I was gonna
regular.
saying yeah, I was gonna saying Murag, it really depends because the problem with like the regular schools now, no, kanang how they did it nga, they basically put the classroom setting, meaning there's a teacher in front of whatever 30 20 students. Unya, it's still the same except that there's a computer na instead of an actual teacher. And yeah, the kids are still spending how many hours a day in online class? 5 to 6 hours.
Yeah. Actually, my kid ba, the one the 10-year-old who's studying in Springdale, likes
Hmm.
online class, actually.
Oh, that's good.
Because after ko no class, he got to stay home right away. Like, play dayon daw. But sometimes, he misses school, like the regular school, when the teacher talks about field trips, trip but to somewhere. And also, he misses his classmates. Sad. And
Or
maybe that's the
is he able to sit through the whole thing kanang
yeah.
without a problem? Amayo, that's good for him.
Because
Okay.
Anad mentioned Carlo before when we're having tutor, like for 2 hours, example mag tutor siya, he's really like he can stand good 2 hours sitting.
Amo
So
ba?
really, that's not a problem for him.
Yeah, kay I'm sure for me, if I were in school now, it would be a problem. Murag lisod yun, no?
Bitaw.
Well, anyways, Nugs, I asked you here really because kanang I was very curious about kanang like it's true what I said in the beginning when kami Steph were kanang planning our wedding. Honestly, your name came up a lot good. Like daghan gid kayo mo recommend. And
Mm.
I was curious. Like I just want to know like your history about how you got into kanang organizing weddings. Like what how did you get there? No? So is that like what you set out to do from the very beginning?
No, because actually, I don't know if you know that I'm a nurse by profession.
Oh, no idea.
So I used to work in a hospital. So after that, I became a company nurse. So I have a friend who's working in Shangri-La, who's a company nurse before. She was the one really organizing weddings within the Shangri-La people. Like siguro mga workmates niya ba. So sometimes we visit her during events, but it's really seldom lang yun. And then after that, I got to see like how it was ba before. It was just very simple, and then but like it's nice, but murag wala gyud ko like I don't have any idea gyud ba if I will really go into it because as you see I'm also working good in a hospital at the time.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, like a friend of mine, like the sister of my classmate, asked me to help her during her wedding. And I have also a friend who's a cake maker. So siya ang muhimo sa cake, but she's not here. She moved to Manila and then moved to Zamboanga, so wala na gid siya here. And then, so we were like, sige, sige, let's do this, let's do this. So we were doing that. So it was just a simple wedding. It was only at the backyard of the groom's house. Then, dili kay daghang guests. I think it was just 50 guests siguro. So it was really doable, di ba?
Was this like in the 90s or 2000s or
2002.
oh, okay. So
2002.
recent or gid kayo nga ni bongga gid ug maayo ang mga wedding, no?
Yeah, because um, when, like, again, fast forward to 2003, um,
Hmm.
a good friend of mine who's getting married, she's also the cousin of my brother-in-law. I think you know her, Angel, Selma.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, she called me and she said, "No, help me sa akong wedding." Said, "Oh, sige, sige. Sige, ha, sige, I'll help you." So I thought it was just like helping her ba, like being her like kind of go-to person, ana bitaw. So sige, I'll help you. And also, she got also the friend who made the cake of my sister, ana. So eventually, um, I was going back to Fort sa Minglanilla because they live there man. So for the meetings ba, like before it was once a month and then it became near the wedding, it becomes every week na. So there, um, we were really very involved and then it was a big wedding, kind of mga 500 guests. And then
Hmm.
um, 500, it was also in their house. And then I was working alone, ha? Di ba now, may mga assistants, di ba? You have crew, you have staff.
Yeah.
I was working alone because I thought lagi na I was just there to help her. But when we had a final meeting, Manggod, like Tito Connie said, sige, kinsa may point person dire. Who's the point person here na we could call ba nga, oh unsay problema like that. So ni ana man si Connie nga, sige, sige si Snoogie. So murag ko the shock ba, ano patay, murag sige money. Sige, sige. But I cannot say no man. Okay, I was already there. Sige. So at that time, I was working na lang with their office workers. Secretary nila, the one, so tanaw siya in charge ani, murag ana bitaw. So good thing we had rehearsal the day before. So at least um we the flower girls, entourage were able to know where ba to sit, asa mo adto. Because 'di ba kinsa may magpapaso, kinsa may mo receive sa end. So I was doing it
Yeah, kay
alone.
you,
'Di ba
yeah,
usually
usually
three
you have like yeah, how many are you like 5, 'di ba?
4 to 5. So, 'di ba na ay there at the processional area, 'di ba na ay magpalakaw and then there's someone who's in the receiving area who will receive the bride, the principal sponsor. But at that time, I was alone. Good. So good thing lagi naka-rehearsal me. So that's where I started, Carl. After that, so it was successful. Kanang the wedding was kanang basta successful siya. So after that, muna na I do my cousin's wedding, the wedding of a family friend, a cousin of the cousin, word my mouth until today. But at that
So
time, this is not my full-time job, because I was working. I had a full-time job. I had an 8 to 5 job.
wait. So how long were you with your 8 to 5 job before you decided to do wedding organizing for the longest time?
Um, diba, example, I started 2003. I resigned 2017. So
Ah,
that long, yeah. I was doing
14
that.
years.
Yes, I just
Wait,
resigned 2017. So when we
sorry,
were
wait.
during your
Yeah.
wedding, working.
No way, really?
Yeah. So example, Carl, 8 to, di ba, I have an 8 to 5 job. So after office, like 5:30, go out to meet clients na. So I scheduled clients there. So maybe until 9 p.m., 10 p.m. My meeting will be until 10 p.m. For example, I have two meetings at a time. So sige, sunod-sunod. And 10 o'clock, ulit ko sa balay. Then after that, I sleep. In the morning, early na ko because it's an 8 to 5 job. Kuyog ko sa mga kids going to school. So example, I wake up at 6. And then human, go to school 7. Then go to the office. Then sometimes I also meet clients 12 to 1 during my lunch break. So
Wait,
inana siya.
were you were working in a hospital?
No, I was working in the hospital for 3 years. Then I moved. When I was doing this good, I was already working in a insurance company, in a healthcare company.
Ah,
When I was doing
as a
this,
nurse. As a nurse.
yes, like semi-nurse. It's related also to my profession.
Wow, I can't imagine. Like, I didn't even realize that. Wait, so what happens if you had like a wedding that was like kanang on your work hours?
Di ba we have leave credits man. So I usually file a leave of absence, like sometimes
Oh,
sick
ba?
leave or vacation leave. Uh,
That is crazy to me. You did it for 13 years. 13, am I right? 13 years nga you were working pa at the same time while doing this. Because I mean, I don't know, ha. Like I my perception of what you guys were doing when you were organizing our wedding, kanang, like it's a it's not an easy thing. We'll get to that. We'll get to the actual organizing itself. No, pero so what made you finally decide to do this full time? Like, wow, guys, it's still boggling my mind. 13 years, I can't imagine. But like, what made you decide to finally go full time at it?
because at that time, my husband good was always telling me to choose one job na. It's either I do the healthcare or I do the organizing. Because tingin niya, kapoy naman kayo niya siya, uy, 10 p.m. uli ko. And then after that, in the morning, di ba? After that, 10 p.m. Especially if there's a wedding pa. The
Hmm.
example, Sunday, then the following morning, Monday na, so, di ba? Back to work na Then I usually mauli me 12 midnight, di ba? For a wedding sometimes. So mauli me 12. So but kuan man good, like I really enjoy my like the full-time job bitaw nga because naara sa Ayala, and our
Hmm.
office is near Ayala man. So na-enjoy kay ko, and then I like the company there. My boss is very supportive to me. Ana siya ba? And then kanang basta for the longest time I enjoyed working ba there. Like maybe because of the camaraderie of the people there and the people that I work with, mo siguro ba nga ni stay sad ko there. And then before, I thought na kani siyang wedding is muna ni siya ang mga kuan ako murag stress reliever. But it's the other way around, halopon. Like,
I'm
ang
sure.
gato na ako ang the katong insurance business gali, but I'm not selling insurance there ba. and I'm just there sa office. So it's my stress reliever na noon. It's the other way around. So at so ana then kids are getting kana bitaw big na, and then kani sometimes in paref you have to be involved man good with kana bitaw parenting there ba, like na ay mga basta you know man paref system ba, kanang the parents are very involved. So
Yeah.
kanang sometimes kung naay meeting, um, I don't usually go to the meetings in Paref because if I go to the meeting, mo leave na sad ko. Diba? I file a leave of absence na sad. And then ang ako mga leave, ako man na siyang gisave for weddings. Because diba, we're only given like how many days of leaves man in a year. So ako siya isave. So
Yeah.
dili ko, I don't go to meetings. And then sometimes my kanang my son was doing gano ko no, I'm not there like that. So my husband said my husband cannot be there also because he's also busy, more than busy than me. So muna, so I decided na good na to what's that to resign. And then at that time also we my husband has a friend who they just opened a like a massage thing, and then they want
Mm.
me to see it also. So mo na to siya. That's the reason why I resigned, because of that massage thing, and because of also my son is get go kung ano siya ba, big school na siya. He just transferred from Southdale to Springdale. So mo
Kanang
na
did didn't you ever feel like kanang I don't know, like didn't you ever feel like you needed like some free time? Murag I it sounds like kanang you're in the morning, you're bringing your kids to school, and then you're working, and then even on your lunch break sometimes you'll have a meeting, and then after your work you're still meeting with clients, and yeah, then that's not to mention because the actual wedding itself na sometimes that's a whole day affair, no?
mm,
uh kanang didn't you ever feel kanang burnt out?
um dili man sad girl, because I'm used to like I really like working, and like even before when I'm like like I was still working as a nurse in a hospital, and I moved to another job again, like for example kada karon for the hospital thing, muni akong last day of work sa hospital, like today, the following day, it was supposed to be sometimes 1 week leave sa ako kay rest, kay I go to another job na sad another. This is my last day of work sa hospital. The following day, report na ko sa new work na ko. Like,
Mm.
I used to work man, Carl, after hospital. I used to work as a company nurse in Duty Free Philippines. So moto, there was no time, or wala yung moment na I was like free ba, like I had a vacation, like from one work to the other, diretso diretso gid siya. So I'm used to it na gyud. So mo lagi to nga when I'm in the office na, more stress reliever na siya nako there, because igtanaw na ako, ayala. Uy, igtanaw na ko sa window, ayala. Ana ba? May Starbucks ako atubangan. Ana siya. So,
Ah. Well, yeah, kay dudugay sad yun. So what happened when after you quit your job? Did you find like you had so much free time all of a sudden? I mean, you're still doing a very stressful job. I mean, to me, the wedding organizing is very stressful. I I can I can imagine, which we'll talk about. No, pero like to me, that's still a very stressful job. But did you find yourself like, oh, all of a sudden, naano ko yung free time, I can kind of just relax a little bit,
well,
or na crazy ka, you look for something else to do.
at first, like example, I plan to resign example 2015. Sige lang ka move. Sige lang ka move ba every year, because kanang mura bitawg I thought na murag hala unsa man akong buhaton, ano ko'y buhaton, and then mura kog na scared na hala kana I'm used to working, and then wala ko'y buhaton, saon na rin ako, mar ana. But in the end, I asked a lot of people ha, like, can I be there? They have a day job, and then all of a sudden they quit their job. Sige ko pangutan na, uy, kamusta man? Unsa man? Okay ra? So, ang ilang their answer good is, sus ma'am, worth it good. They would really tell me nga, okay ra gyud daw. So, sige, mo na gyud tingali ni. So, after that, um, when I resigned, so murag, di wala man sad, murag, there was no change at all. It's just that, um, kay I wake up early man sad because I bring my kid to school. But the only difference is I go back. If ever I don't have a meeting, go back ko sa balay. But mura bitaw Carl nga at that time also when I resigned, mura bitaw misud sad siya nga sige kog meeting. Murag murag it's not that nga ni daghan ay mohang client basta di ko kasabot nga ni murag every other day sige kog meeting like meeting here paon kag meeting here meeting na pud ka it's not like clients lang meet ka with the florist with the client adto na pud ka sa hotel working ana bitaw but now like like pre-pandemic I make it a point na I usually have meetings like in the morning. Like example, my son, the dismissal of my son is 3 p.m. So I usually have meetings. Example, kung gunahan mo as early as 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Anak, mag-meeting ko. And after that, uli na ko sa balay. So by ako na siyang kaon, I go to school, pick him up, and then uli na as much as possible. But sometimes there are times man na where the client is only available because they're also working like 8 to 5 they're only available 6 p.m. 7 p.m. so balik na lang ko or
Mm.
una sila uli.
Mm.
But sometimes siguro Carl, if you really love also your job like what you're doing or I think really isa tingali ka kapuyon.
Well, yeah, I truly believe that's a good kay it's easier to get kanang if you're doing something that gives you energy as opposed to takes energy away, it's
Yeah.
a lot easier to just keep doing it. You can very easily, you know, like like if you're doing something that you get a sense of flow ba. Yung mawada wala day ka kabantay nga you've been at it for 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever. So that's true, good. Like if you really love what you do, that's why like there's really an advantage of people if they love what they're doing, they're gonna do so much better than the ones who don't like what they're doing because they have an infinite amount of energy
Yeah, bitaw.
because they enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah,
No?
true. True.
Yeah. So you mentioned so that was all pre-pandemic, no? Kanang well, wait, but first let's talk about like so how did you learn to become a kanang wedding organizer? Were you just thrown into the kanang like bahala na, let's just get to it. We'll learn as we go. No?
Yeah, kanang I didn't like wala man ni studies, 'di ba? There's no studies or like
Yeah.
you don't maybe there's like mga online or like short courses for this, but I didn't get to join like any of them because at that time I think there were like courses in Manila, but I was working man sad at the time. So it's hard for me to like kanang to go to Manila ba or just to attend mga seminars like that. So I think Carl, it's just really experience. Like until now, maybe until now, I'm still learning. Like, di ba, weddings are different. All weddings are different. So sometimes
Yeah, super.
you got to learn something in every wedding that you do. So I think experience good, Carl. And then
Experience
sometimes
good.
yeah, experience and sometimes you also say, kanina siya angay buhaton, dili day, so kanina day sunod. Kay mo man ni siya, so kanina, di ba,
Can
merg anak pa?
can you give an example?
Like what?
Can you give like a specific example? I'm just curious. No, like I'll give you something like so in our wedding, I remember one of the things that so usually the brides in a wedding, they're very sensitive. no? And you kind of don't want anything to happen to them. You kind of don't want to ask them kanang any clarifying questions. And then I remember I was talking to Steph after the wedding, and then she's like, kanang, as far as she was concerned, nothing, nothing happened, nothing went wrong. As far as she was concerned, yeah, to me, I was like, yeah, murag, wala raman sad. Like, I'm sure there were so many things happening in the background. Murag, hala, kani, and then, but, but from the point of view of kami, at least in our wedding, of the bride and the groom, there was nothing. And I was just thinking about it, and I was like, well, somebody asked me. I think it was like one of your assistants. Like, I think somebody asked me if I knew where the neckties were or something, no? And then you probably can't remember because you know how many you've done so many weddings, but I think somebody was asking me if they knew where the neckties were. I was like, I have no idea. No, and yeah, okay. And then he just walked away. And then I don't I think what was happening in the background was people were looking for kanang neckties, kanang asa man yung gibutang. It was for the groomsmen or something. Ano ba? Yeah. For all I know, nabili na sa balay kanang yan na ba? And of course, from our perspective, like we didn't have to do anything at all. Like kanang no decisions were made on our end. We did not have to worry about kana ba like and then this whole necktie example, that's just like one tiny kanang sliver of a wedding, and somehow you guys dealt with it without kanang uh, dealing with the bride and the groom, no?
Yeah.
So
For
that was
an
something that I
example,
appreciated. Go.
example, I will go with the necktie thing. Example lang,
Sige.
necktie thing. Um, so during meetings before that, example, not your weddings lang, not your wedding. Example, during the meeting, say, imo man, you have to tell man the bride na, oh, muni the checklist ha, kani. Sometimes the bride forgets about it, right? So, example, that happened. We were looking for the necktie thing. And then after that, hala, asa mo tong necktie? So, mura bitaw, as an experience, you get to learn nga, sus, ang ani day ni next time. So, maybe, sa next ni mo na meeting with your clients, you would already tell them, okay ha, the necktie, kani siya tanan, the necktie, kaning shoes, kani tanan, the necktie or gifts for the entourage, male entourage, should be at the groom's room, ha? And then kani siya, the example, um, the kind of things for the girls ba? Like gifts for the girls or unsa pa na siya din na must be in the room ha, must be good ha in the room of the bride ha, so that if ever kanang magpangita ay ta dili siya mawa. So ana siya ba as an experience, based on experience, you have to tell them na ba the reason why. Kaya if ever example wala ka na experience ana, so wala lang, like every time maybe magsige mo pangita ay sa ay.
Well, this is you talking to your like kanang mga assistant, ana.
Assist, no, not really. The couple.
Mm.
During the fight,
Okay.
the couple, but you have to tell them ba, kaniha, the,
Mm.
kaniha, itabo, Carl ha, Steph, kaning ko ang Steph, the tie of Carlo and the rest of the entourage must be in Carlo's room, ha? And then the socks, ha? And then unsa pa na siya. Kasi sometimes, manggod, things of the groom naa sa bride, and then the groom doesn't know. So when we go to the room of the groom, we're looking na for your things. Hala, I don't know, ako kabaw. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
if
the room of the bride. Pero ana ba, so adtuon na sad sa ngitaon. It's fun, din na di sa room sa bride.
yeah, if most grooms are like me, wag yun mikibaw anything.
So, we make it a point also, we make it a point, 'di ba na may muanha nimo nga we arrange
Mm.
everything, 'di ba? Kay like sige mo ni these are the essentials of the groom nga murag mo ni siya i-picturean sa photographer. So we arrange everything, 'di ba? We ask for your shoes, we ask for your kani, whatever you want kanang the photographer to include in your pictures. 'Di ba we ask you that, all the grooms, we
Yeah.
ask them, the bride. So, ana
So
siya.
So that's just like one tiny thing. How do you have like a checklist for the do you have like a general checklist for like all weddings? Kanang,
Yeah,
you do,
per
yeah,
client, per client.
per client. So
Yeah, we
like
have a check.
you have a checklist per client. So
Yeah,
like what's
per
a man like does it start off nga like kanang like a default checklist, and then if depending on what the client wants, then we're gonna use okay
yeah,
kani this is these things in the checklist are all relevant. Kaning other items in the checklist it's not relevant. So ma-out na
yes.
ni. You really have a
Uh,
checklist, good.
we all have a checklist per client because like sometimes I cannot memorize man sad. Like kinsa man kinsa gito yung cake mga ana ba. So I usually go to the checklist. Si kuan de ini yung ang photographer kani din siya. And then like a month before the wedding or 2 weeks before the wedding, I usually send the or give the bride checklist na gyud for on
Mm.
the day of the wedding. Like what she needs ba to prepare for her wedding. Like in example, she's ang dress up niya is in the hotel. So whatever things that she will bring ba sa hotel, na sa checklist. So usually I give it to the bride. Kaya ang groom wala man
Mm.
sa the groom really doesn't know. So bride mo gid ka.
Is that typical? Is that your typical experience?
That's the typical experience. But there are also groom that mas grabe pa siya sa bride. Like
I'm sure.
very organized. Na, like the bride, the decision is all to groom, but that's like 10% siguro, like 10% of the population. Like mostly the bride yet is the one like taking care of things.
Yeah, yeah. So like when you're dealing with like the couple, but the bride and the groom, and then like everybody has different personalities, no? And then not all of them are great, not all of them are bad. Some people
Mm.
are okay lang, some people are really nice, some people are not so nice, no? When you're in an environment pag yun nga kanang weddings can be a stressful environment, no? It can be. Um, how do you navigate all that? Like kanang dealing with all of these different personalities.
Good thing is kind of get sometimes without the like um the like events person working in the like in the hotel. Sometimes they will tell me like they will tell me na Snoogs, grabe no, yun sa man nimo your clients ba puro lagi ni sila mga chill cool mga ana ba ganun ko no the other like planners why ko no some clients and it's really hard for them to deal with ko no why ko no my brides or my grooms are bitong very very nice kanang nothing gamay but not so rude or kanang okay lang gid sila ba did you screen them ano gid sila ba no dili man sad like I'm blessed kasi siguro or swerte lang sad siguro na adto sa ako mga ingana nga klase nga clients but Carl, there are also times na sometimes bitaw when you meet a client murag ako I can really feel if this client is like okay or this client will give me a hard time. Like
Mm.
in the first meeting, I really can tell already, like the way they act, and the way they talk to you. I can tell na kani siya nga client okay ra ni siya. Or kani siya nga client murag in the end magka-problema jud ko ani in the end. So muna
So
siya.
what happens? So what happens when you meet like a client nga murag nga is gonna be a problem? Do you like kadang just saying oh what do you still take them on? Like bahala na?
No.
Yeah, I think that's very important. Like kadang like it's very important to choose. There's like it's so easy to get caught up in a client relationship ba nga murag in a service and a client relationship, it's so easy to get caught up that you have to have a really good service and but I actually think, and then you've just shown it's just as important to choose good clients. There is such a thing as kanang good clients because the you also have like like a screening process of your own ba, no?
Mm.
So like if you know that, and then this is not just, I guess, in the wedding industry, this could be really in any creative field or any freelancer type industry. There is such a thing as good clients and bad clients, and it's good that like kanang you're able to see that, and you have the confidence, of course, to, I mean, I don't know how you do it, no? If you say no to their face, but like, or like, kanang, na maybe you have a prior, oy, sus, dili makaya ka na nga date. Or,
Yeah, yeah. We make alibis, no? Because sometimes, man, good example, if you really take that client and you know in the end that it's like it would be hard ba on the day. Like, it's not a good feeling bitaw when coming na ang wedding and uy, may tag mahuman na ni, uy, pero ana ba, me, I don't like that kind of feeling na you want that wedding to end na bitaw rather than you're like wishing, hi, maabot na ta ni nga day na you want the client to be happy or you want the wedding to be happy but bugat bitaw sa imong part because you don't like the client, you don't like the wedding, ana bitaw. So it's nice like to accept lang like clients that is like for you kanang it would be like more important ba, and then like treat you also as important as the wedding is.
mm, yeah, because if you're not, yeah, no, so like whenever you take up a client or you organize a wedding, I guess kanais, you are in a way emotionally involved in it also. Like you are in it. You're not just doing it for a paycheck, just for the job.
Ah,
It's you are kanang, you really are invested in the wedding also.
yeah, invested like emotions because sometimes the bride will come to you, will cry, kana, because na problem, ana bitaw, so murag troubleshooter na ka nga, sige, kani siya, murag ani, like, ingana bitaw. And sometimes also, um, it's nice also like to accept bitaw na, like, di ba, you cannot accept like every weddings that you like. But it's also nice, Manggod, that you choose your clients na for you na you have a really good working relationship with them. Like mura na bitaw because most of my like bride or groom really like become my friends bitaw like until now.
Mm. Oh yeah, yeah. Like I still think very highly of you. I'll tell you that. No?
And then
uh,
sometimes also referrals from you, diba? Referrals from you. So
oh
may
yeah.
ano also example referrals from you. So it would also like they already know you, Manggod. Like example, you Carlo referred, Stephanie referred this person to me. So at least they know me already ba, and then they know, si Carlo Manday, si Stephanie Manday ni. So at least they know you already, like what like how you work, like how you do your job. Ano bitaw, like they saw you already. Sometimes also they meet you when you're working. Like, "Oy, I saw you in the wedding of Kanisha." Like sometimes they already like namantay na bitaw sila what you're doing. They're
More
like
nag-scout sad sila.
guess sila and they're like looking at you what you're doing.
Mm. So yeah, I think that's really important. I actually that is a really important and very smart thing, and also a very hard thing for a lot of people to do. Get to be able to, in a way, choose their clients. Like I think a lot of people forget that they have the ability to do that. No, kanang you've
Yeah,
also worked with a lot of kanang, of course, like a lot of the wedding. I mean, you've been doing this for years. So like the wedding suppliers here in Cebu, no? And I was curious if like what makes a good, of course, like I'm going to be as general as possible, no? But like, because there's so many different suppliers. You have photographer, videographer, flowers, food, venue, who knows what else, but pero what makes a good like supplier in general, like a kind of good wedding supplier?
The ones that can deliver and the ones that's really reliable. Because for me, like if your supplier, co-supplier is reliable, it like lessens the stress on you, bitaw. Like, but for me, I also like to work with newbies, new suppliers pa. And then like maybe some are good, some people or maybe some coordinators are like, or some planners are working with this supplier ra gyud. Like kung gid ni
Mm.
sila every time na wedding mo gid ni siya. Kani me I don't. Like it really depends on the on of the client of the couple without the choice of the couple. Like mo man ilang choice. I don't really like example ilang choice kani. I don't really like "Uy, ayaw na siya because mas maayo ni siya. Because for me, you don't do that because imo man that's your co-suppliers man sa, 'di ba? Like you have to respect them also unless nagyud when sige, first time, second time, napalpak gid sila ba, then that's the time you have to tell the couple nga, kani siya, nakaproblema ba ya gid ni ani with this. Tapos musulti siya. Like during our meeting, amo ni ako supplier. Then you have a problem with that supplier na gyud. Like not once, twice, many times na gyud. So I think you have also the right as a planner to tell them na kibaw ka hani magka-problema ba ya gid mi ani mo ni siya. So um, a lot of times man sad, couples listen to us. That's why it's very important also in on our part na whatever we say, it's like we choose with what we tell them because example we said na kani siyang supplier ayaw ni siya. So it's really like kinahanglan, it's really true, right? And then dili usad mi pwede, like for me, it's unethical for a planner to like to push somebody. Like kanigid
Mm.
siya, kanigid siya nga photographer, kanigid siya nga florist. Like let the client like have their choice ba on what supplier like to get as long as you know that it's really reliable. The supplier is really reliable.
Yeah. And then I actually think it's also probably smart to do that because it just kanang makes your network even bigger ba, kanang being able to work with as many people as possible. And because like even if it's like, let's say, a new photographer, and then
Mm.
and then they don't really know that many people in the wedding industry yet, and you just so happen to be the first or second wedding organizer that they've worked with. And then there's still people, they still recommend gihapon kanang working ana ba, like it's still a good way to widen your network or excited gihapon. If I say you just stick to the same people over and over again, it makes your job easier, but maybe long term much more beneficial to work with as many people as possible. No.
Yeah, but sometimes when you do recommend, when sometimes when couple ask suggestion from you,
Mm.
then that's the time na siguro that you choose the reliable suppliers that you work with.
Ah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because if you,
Yeah,
to
CP.
the stress good,
What did you say?
it lessens the stress
Ah, yeah,
on
for sure. Some people have said hi to Mom Snoog. See, can you see
Barry.
Beryl Kate Goth? She
Beryl.
said hi.
Hi Barry,
Uh,
I know her.
can you see Stevie 76? Si Stevie
Yeah,
76. Do you know him? He comments in almost every live stream.
yes, I know Stevie. Stevie is the Stevie is the nephew of Mama Rose Soberano.
Okay. We
Yeah,
got you, Steve.
was in this. I think he's in the U.S. I worked
Ah,
with
okay.
Stevie a long time before. Like how many years ago now? Their wedding was also
Mm.
very memorable.
Oh yeah.
If I remember.
He's a regular commenter. No.
Oh,
Si Kim Mary D said hi also.
si Kim is my bride.
Hmm. And then of course si Steph also said hi. She's
Yes,
here
hi,
somewhere.
somewhere there. Hi, Steph.
2009 daw yung si Stevie.
Oh, 2009. Yeah.
Mm.
December. I remember their wedding. No, it was December 26th.
Oh wow,
26th.
December 26.
Yeah.
He'll,
Or more.
he might answer. The so I was thinking about, so one of the things I'm really curious about also is kanang, weddings in the new normal. Have you organized any weddings in the new normal?
Um, I organized wedding in the new normal pag May. But diba at the time, it was really in the height of the pandemic. So the wedding was supposed to be it was supposed to be May sad, but it was mura siya 500 guests or more because they're Chinese man. So diba Chinese na siya guests. So
Wow.
yeah, so but at that time they pushed through with the wedding like sa church only because naano man gud ang papers. The papers were already there. The kuan ba what's that, the marriage license was already there. And if they want like push through with the wedding, they have to go all over again to file for the license. So ni push through na lang sila sa wedding, but it was in Sacred Heart, but 10 people were only allowed there. So, like including the photo and video ha, but gihangyo pag yun nila na the photo and video i-include lang ta siya. So, it was 12. So, 10 family members and one photo and one video. And then I was there, but I didn't tell the bride and the groom that I was there. Like, I like went to the church lang to see everything if it's okay, but wala ko ni sulti na I was there because I don't want manggod na makitaan ko sa Sacred Heart man to nga church, na I will be included ba. But I was just outside. I didn't go inside because dili man siya pwede. But kana siya. And then the next wedding that I did it was in October also, but it was only a church ceremony. So katong wedding na gyud, the full wedding na like dressed up, church reception. It was like recently lang gyud, Carl, this November. So it was really different na gyud. Daghan gyud siya a lot of difference gyud from before.
Are there a lot of so like are there a lot of usually December for you is crazy, diba? I'm sure, no? And
There's
what
again, yeah.
so how about this year? Is there a lot of weddings this year, or kanang understandably ni die down yun ang number of weddings?
Die down yun because there are weddings that are pushing through this year, this December, but not like before. Like almost all weddings yun, this year move to next year or 2022, Carl. But some of the weddings bitaw that are booked on example, they're booked this year, they move next year, but there's no date yet, especially those who are waiting for the venues to open, and then who are not here, who are abroad. They're waiting for flights or kanagaling advisory advisory from their country. And
Yeah,
then
no, it's also what were you gonna say?
and also those who are gonna have a big wedding, is going to have a big wedding, kana sad siya, they move to next year, but they don't have a wedding date yet.
So the for the weddings that you've already done and organized, so what's different? Like it's possible. Like obviously it's possible, diba? Like kanang you can still have a wedding, and then but I'm sure there's so many limitations, no, especially in the number of people. I
Number
assume.
number of people inside the church. Like before, you can invite a lot of people inside the church. Now there's a limit to the number of people inside the church. Kids are not allowed. Like there's no flower girls, there's no bearers anymore. And then um the seats are like 1 meter good. Like they put sometimes like ribbons so that when in the church, but when you sit, the guest will sit naagid siya distancing. And then when you like mupaso ka, you have to wear mask. Imagine. Like, but the bride and the groom, amo lang usay, we make it a point that we ask the one in charge, pwede ba ang bride and groom dili lang sila magmask? But di ba, it's not also nice to look at na magpaso siya with everything, with the bouquet, and then magmask siya. But everyone, they're really strict with that. And then sometimes, like before, di ba, in your wedding, in one room, di ba, tanan mo, but the video, the photos, the groomsmen are there, like in one room. Now there's also a limit to the number of persons inside your hotel room. I think it's also okay, man, Carl, because it's also for the safety, my God, of everyone.
Oh yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that. No, it's the I mean we've already seen public gatherings are basically a way for this virus to spread very easily. And yeah, you know, doesn't get us. Kanang, these gatherings in at least in Cebu, one of the biggest public gatherings are really weddings, no. So kanang so of course there's a change in the number of people who are allowed in the wedding. And what do they do like with receptions? Like usually sa balay na lang, di ba?
No, kaning Chateau de Busay is becoming very popular now because of outdoor. And then there's a venue naman who's accepting like weddings like um Marco Polo, like Shangri-La. Kana may ana. They're starting to accept weddings na.
But
So
what's man, do they cap the people or they like keep
yes,
them?
like
I understand Chateau, kay murag with Chateau, it's really open air, so it's in terms of safety, murag you're much murag there's a lot more. It feels a lot safer. Good, like if I go to a cafe, I would rather sit outside. Good, more
uh,
often than not. No.
like if it's indoor car, if it's indoor, like 50% of the capacity of the ballroom, they will allow that. Like example, this ballroom is like pwede siya before 200, so 100 can or 75. Like usual, that's their protocol. Like basta
Uh,
50% capacity of the ballroom.
so so you've done a few weddings. So like it's kaya ra good. It's just that kanang mo na like you cannot expect the same type of wedding as before. But kaya ra
Yes.
good. Like kanang if you're very willing to, I don't want the word downsize came to mind, but might not be the best word for the wedding. But like kanang get the number of people much lower.
Yeah, kaya ra gyud siya. Kaya ra baya gyud siya, but you have to kuan na lang gyud like um be safe lang gyud ba, like for us suppliers also, because like for me bitaw is so hard, like gikan sa morning until night I'm wearing a mask. Like it's so hard for us ba, wearing a mask from morning to night. Like some kwaon lang namo siya ang mask if we like have dinner or lunch, but most of the time na nagmask yun me kay for me also I want to be safe, because other people bitaw, Carl, now I think para nila it's really normal na abila balik na ang weddings. Normal na bitaw siya. Like for them normal na gyud siya. Like they're not wearing a mask anymore during during reception, but um they but sometimes manggod the venue itself will call our attention, oy di pa dahayo, so muna that's a time na we tell them, and then we also tell the host to please like announce good na the protocol of these venues.
Oh yeah, like yeah, you can see that man. Like people. Well, hopefully with the recent news nga murag na ni surge gamay ang atong number of cases. So like murag 'di ba like kita like in Cebu earlier in the year, like we were the center of the COVID
Yeah.
cases in the Philippines, and then in a way I was kind like the the good thing about it was most of the people natagam na, no? So
Mm,
like we were actually able to last pretty long. Like I was surprised how long we've lasted nga murag our cases were very low, no?
yes.
Then because I feel like the normal thing is because that's human, that's what it is to be human, but like eventually we're going to be like, oh, we're okay naman ni, and then mo mo relax gamay ang atong
Yeah.
restrictions. We won't be as strict on ourselves and ana. So I have to think we have to expect that number to go up again and then eventually go down again and maybe later on it will go up again. And that I think is to be expected. No. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
because
So
wedding sad it's kuan man good like relax. They're really very relaxed na gyud. Kanang murag normal na gyud. Feeling nila normal na gyud. But dili sad ba ya? Like scary sad siya.
yeah, for sure. So it's good. It's a good thing that the venues are strict about it, and I guess part of your job as the wedding organizer is also to in a way enforce the rules, no?
Yeah.
Or make sure to somehow let people comply, no? Kana what to like let's say I'm a couple right now in 2020 and then I want to get married. Like magkikapoy na kog sigig huwat. I was supposed to get married pag I don't know March or whatever. I don't know. No, and yeah, wala na. And I want to get married. What am I supposed to look out for if I really wanted to get married now? Not that I want to get married. It's just somebody else who might want to get married.
You really have to know good like how many guests you're having because diba now we really don't know when this will end. Like there are also couple na January move to February, then the March sa sige slag move yun sila. So sige slag move because I think they want to invite good more guests. They want to invite more guests. So sige slag move. But if you really want your wedding na gyud to push through, and then so you have to follow na gyud the protocols of the venues nga mo limit na gyud. You have to limit your guests na gyud because that is allowed, that is the one na naman gyud that's allowed. So other than that, if you want a big wedding, so you have to wait for next year 2022 or ambot when. But if ganahan mo madayon, so I think go for a intimate wedding, and you have to book a church and reception because okay, the church are okay naman. They're accepting weddings naman yun now. It's only like there's a limit lang yun sa venues because mulagi a lot of the venues are still not open right now. Like mapili ra bitaw siya ang na-open, wala pa sila nag-open, like maybe next year mag-open na sila, but that is also the problem of the couples because they're waiting for venues. They have a date but
Mhm.
there's no available reception venue.
Yeah, bitaw no, I didn't think about that, Namurag. So you have, I'm sure there are couples who have just been pushing it and pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. Yeah, the reality is we have no idea when
Yeah.
everything is going to be back to normal. Like no one knows good, no.
Lagi.
Uh, no, I wonder how long people are going to be willing to keep pushing it back. No.
Times, Carl, others are already are canceling their weddings, especially the ones abroad. Like they already have a down payment to their suppliers, but they really canceled the wedding na because they can't wait anymore. Like they're having their wedding there na abroad. Like they want to spend their wedding with families here in the Philippines ba. But because of what is happening, um, they're already like planning to have their weddings there na. Like with like minimal guests lang siguro, but they maybe they can't wait anymore.
I actually think that like if I were to get married these days, na ni si Steph ni comment gid siya na medyo nabalik ay naka
So that's
ay
the 10 years step renewal of vows.
ayaw okay raman di. But no, but like I think if we were to get married in 2020, I think the thing to do would be just do the small wedding, and then when everything goes back to normal, when when who knows when that happens, then you can have a reception or something, no? Uh,
Yeah,
I
it's
think that's
doable.
the way to, diba?
Yeah,
I
because
wonder if
imagine ha, I have a wedding unta March. March supposed to be. Then they moved to this December. So their wedding guests was supposed to be 500 guests. And now it's down to 50. So imagine kung kinsa ka nilang gipang invite ng mga, 'di ba?
oh yeah, they have to. You that was hard, huh? You have to choose good people to be. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. Morga, I wonder if people are just. So wait, so you get the sense that people are moving back their weddings because they want to invite more people. You don't think they're moving back their weddings because they're scared?
Um they're also scared siguro, but for me no, they want man good like their families and friends to be involved in the wedding and be there man gyud ba in the wedding. That's why they keep on moving the date because um when man gyud ni siya marag ana sila ba kanang okay na ba ka no the number of people, that's their main question man gyud, the number of people that is allowed. So it's because they want to invite more guests gyud.
So what? How many people is a typical wedding now?
50 and above or 50 like 50 like two like the pinakadako na ako na wedding now, the guest is 100 pa.
One
One
hundred.
100 100 pa. The but next year I already have like weddings who are like 200 to 300. But I don't know if kung unsa man gyud ba what's the protocol pa gyud of the venue. But they already told me that more or less the guests will be like that, around that range.
Wow, they're very optimistic with the future.
Yeah, but I also tell them ang good na please choose your guests. Can you know bagyo the guests that are really like healthy at for you is safe because we don't know man good what will happen, di ba?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
example, the kids are not there naman sad. It's not allowed. And 'di ba, maybe 65 years and above, it's not allowed also. Or I don't know, maybe next year it will be allowed. So I think it's easier for also for them to trim down the gas. Ah, kani siya, 65 years old. Well, di siya pwede. This one na lang. So, said siguro.
Mm, yeah, I think okay, that's interesting to me. It's the number of guests. Okay, I would have thought. Okay, um, like there are some people who would like to have like before pre-pandemic. There were some people who would like to have a small wedding, but like their parents want it to be bigger. Their parents want to invite as many people as possible, and I would have thought nga if you were the one getting married, like this is the perfect opportunity to have a small wedding, di ba?
Yeah, yeah.
No?
I have a like wedding recently. Her wedding was supposed to be like big wedding supposed to be, but they really wanted an intimate wedding. They really wanted to have an intimate wedding, but because they have lots of friends and families, so that's why their wedding like wedding guests like balloon. But now since they're like married now, like ingon gyud sila na, "Buangas nugs uy, like this is what we want unta." But like pre-pandemic, this is what we want. But they balloon siya because our families, our guests, like our friends, like from Manila is coming. But wala man siya nahitabo because of the pandemic. So they went to the intimate wedding. So they were really very happy because muogid ko no ilang na plan, Carl. That was what their wedding was supposed to be like. That's what they envisioned, kuno, a small wedding. And now they're really very happy because nakuha daw nila ilang dream wedding to have an intimate one. So I guess
Yeah,
it's
so kind of there. Yeah, so like kanang yeah, that's a good thing to I think end on honestly like kanang there's kanang light in the end of the tunnel ba nga murag really maybe it's just to show people nga like if they really wanted to do it whether a good of course you have to be like super cautious I mean you have to wear that mask pretty much the whole day and
others also are really like they're really really very scared man sad gyud of what will happen bitaw. Like example, they will push you with the wedding and then unsay mahitabo, di ba? So they will for them basi kuno ma-blame sila. So that's why they're pushing their wedding next year or 2022. Kana, there's a lot of inquiries for 2022.
really
Hmm.
no and yeah what do the venues say? They just say we have no idea pa dili pa gyud sila kakuha.
They have a date. They have a date. They will tell me the date, but no venue because they're
No.
waiting down. Like you cannot really like move forward, good.
Yeah, I don't well I was gonna say I don't know if I could have waited 2 years but murag dugay man day na minyo ni Steph actually. I think 1 year almost 2 years man day sa to ang among planning
Yeah, preparation, no?
more yeah. Anyways, Snooks, we've been talking for over an hour.
Hmm.
Uh, thank you so much for being on the show. Is there something that I missed that you wanna talk about, or unsani, or are you
I think
good?
I'm okay. I'm okay. You, what do you wanna ask?
Sorry, what did you say?
You, ikaw lang. What do you wanna ask me? Is there
Oh
anything?
no, I asked you everything I wanted to ask. I was very curious to with like kanang with the with just being a wedding organizer in general. But I am curious about those things like jobs that I'm sure I am not going to be able to do good. And I was wondering just to take for me ba like this whole podcast is like a way to take a peek into somebody else's life, no? And
Yeah, but
then
you know naman that the wedding industry and the like events industry are the really ones affected, diba? They're like the number one affected jobs here siguro. And then the one also that like it will like take them like the last one to open, 'di ba? Because like a lot of our my co suppliers like are changing careers. Like they shift to another like job or career, and then until now there's no event. So daghan bitaw gyud na what work. Like imagine lights and sound man ang kanang mga crew di ay sa mga 'di ba? So really really affected gud sila.
yeah, it's the tricky thing with the pandemic and of course the lockdowns also is that it's affected specific industries. Like another industry would be the restaurant industry, no? But
Mhm.
but also in the other end of the spectrum, there are industries that are doing really well, no? So it's kind of strange because you have a subset of people who are struggling and kind of changing careers and for kind of no fault of their own. Like it's just walang swerte, no? Like the travel industry, no, for
Yes.
example,
Wow.
and then but you also have like another subset of people who are just doing really well through no fault of their own. They're just really lucky, and so it's a strange uh, juxtaposition right now, ba? No,
Mm.
and but on the bright side, it's if these people can hold on long enough, no, I'm like there's gonna be an explosion of these things once it is okay, diba? Like I must imagine that once, uh, assuming there is a vaccine and everybody is vaccinated and everything is back to normal, then people are gonna be going out like crazy again, traveling, having weddings, kanang, they're all gonna happen all at the same time, no?
Yeah.
Because there's
No?
just gonna be this pent up pressure that's been building. And yeah, how long has it been? March, April, May, June, July, August, November. Like what? 7 months, 8 months, and really, that's a long time for a lot of people to not be like doing the stuff that they were used to doing before. No.
Yeah, because at first, 'di ba, like, 'di ba, it started in March. Then after that, murag April, murag, oh, lingaw, lingaw, no? Murag lingaw ba because you're not doing anything. For you, it's lingaw pa ba? Like everybody lingaw gyud siya. Like ordering anything online, di ba? Like delivery of food. Sige lang order bisag asa na food. But murag pag June, July, August, murag hindi naman siya lingaw, oy. Murag kapoy naman. And I have also heard like a lot of people having to go under anxiety gyud. Like grabe.
Yeah, for sure. Like actually, like from my experience, it was bali in a way nga murag in the beginning. That's when I was like me personally. I was I was having problems with it. I was like, son naman ni, uy, kay
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that I did when the whole lockdown started was because when it was still happening in China, what could I care? Like well, there's a virus, whatever, and it's not coming here, and then it's coming here, and then a lockdown, and then you see what's happening in the news, and then so what I did was I just started talking to people much smarter than me, and hearing
Mm-hmm.
their take on it, and their take on it was quite grim. So murag na depressed maka-depress na doon, and then it because I saw very early on nga murag, oh, this is gonna take a long time, no? So nangita lang yun something to
Yeah,
do in a way,
yeah.
no?
Especially if you talk to like doctors or the one that you who really know about it, ma-depress ka. Like you makuyawan sad ka. Like this is real gid ay.
Oh yeah, back then. Now everybody knows. Everybody knows it's real. Katong back then when it was still new, kay murag maka in denial pa ka ba, no?
Yeah, no?
Yeah, mo
So
lagi.
but
So the question now is how long can kanang people hold on? That's the thing. Well, but on the bright side, like I feel like a lot of people will look back at 2020 and say kanang because there are people who uh kanang maybe they were doing something that they didn't enjoy for whatever reason, and then napugos sila to try something else pag lockdown pag 2020 and then they might have found the thing that they wanted to do ba, no?
yeah, bitaw. They're passionate about this ay, they so nga they're good at it, and then
Bitaw.
hmm, bitaw.
Diba ka
That's
even si Gino Visitacion was surprised nga 2017 pa ka na full time.
move on. Hygiene. You know he's getting
Well,
married.
oh yeah? Is he like
Yeah.
really getting married like in 2020?
Yeah, soon.
Good for you, Jean. Congrats, bye. Yeah.
Without
Well, sige, Snook. Thank you, guys, for being on the podcast, ha? Kanang, where can people find you online?
Instagram, Carl, and Facebook. Yeah, because I'm murag, 'di ba? Like I really like respond to inquiries there sa Facebook or email also, but they can reach me like Facebook and Instagram.
I'll make sure to put a link to your kanang page in the show notes. No?
Okay.
The yeah, like di ba like nahack mo to yung mong Instagram? Like
Yes, why?
which one?
Katong year with Snoogie, it was hacked like early this year. So I changed. I didn't have a two-way authentication before, so mo siguro na hack. But now I already did have a two-way authentication. So the one that you messaged me, mo na to
Yeah,
siya.
yeah, yeah. I'll
I'm using
I'll
it
link
na.
I'll link to that for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Snooks, thank you so much for doing the podcast, huh?
Na scared you go at first, but like it's like I'm talking to you. Ako naman gud sa hair, sa room ba. Then walay tao. So I think like I'm talking to you here ana lang yun.
Well, well, that's what I try to do. Like I try to make it like a regular conversation. But that's what
Because
I personally enjoy listening to, Mansad Good.
that's why also the 'di ba you said so you 'di ba na shock ka nga I do watch your show this one
Yeah. Yeah,
but
well, to be honest, I'm shocked anybody watches it.
because I like I find it magud oh my gosh wala naman kaila that's why when you asked me I said pareho na di ato prank kan Nicola like they were talking to each other lang para at least ba like now because 'di ba usually I'm behind the scene Carl I'm not usually like this talking to somebody live like that pero at least
Yeah, actually my motivation when doing the podcast is like I actually when I started doing it, the main motivation was kanang if there's like let's say a college kid who doesn't know what he or she wants to do, kunya wants to listen to people who who have actually done whatever it is, no, whether it be art, music, or business, or in your case, wedding organizing, no. So kanang I feel like it's a way to get people to learn ba, no? And that's my main motivation. Well, that was my main motivation. Now I realize the main motivation is I just get to talk to interesting people and hear their story. Like I had no idea 13 years you were still working.
I cannot imagine lagi doing that na doing two things at the same time or serving two masters at the same time no correct ha isuda day ato no
But you still are, right? Like you still are in a way. Like you were katong pre-pandemic, katong 'di ba you mentioned like a spa
yeah but
or kanang massage place.
we
Oh well,
close
yeah, like
yeah because of that but okay raman sad because at least now more na busy sad ko with online bida online for kids ba and then like weddings starting to have weddings now but it's okay like okay na sad good like take things slowly one step at a time
yeah.
but
Well, I think like if people can hold on na lang yun, it's
at a
just a
time
long it's just a long hold on lang.
yeah
Taas-taasan ang hold period, no?
but Carl your show is informative ha that's why I
Oh,
watch
thank
it
you. I try.
I don't comment there lang but I watch your show
May pa si Stevie76, sige comment.
Logi, wala ko kabaw sige comment si Stevie.
Sige gid siya comment. I appreciate you, Steve. All right, Snooks,
Yeah,
thank you so much, huh? I'm
thank
gonna
you,
end the
Carl,
yeah. Thank you. I'll end
for
it.
having me.